So hello and welcome to this interview with Mike Perlow from Perlow Productions and myself, Duncan Robinson. So in this interview, you're going to find out about how and why you should be using video in your marketing to save time, money, and increase enrollments. So if you want to get more kids to camp, save time nurturing interest into enrollments, and increase camper numbers, then this one is for you. First, I saw some of your videos, Mike, quite a while ago, and first of all, I was really impressed by the quality, which got me interested in setting this interview up. Then when we were chatting a while ago, you showed me an example of the augmented reality project you've been working on, which blew me away. So yeah, really interested to find out more about that.
Duncan, I want to record you saying Perlow Productions, because with your accent, it just sounds awesome.
You got it. Perlow Productions.
It just sounds so professional.
Oh really? Oh gosh, I've never heard that before. I sound professional. I hear quite the opposite.
Well, me too. Trust me. So, do you want me to kind of speak to that a little bit? I certainly can. I mean, I think video. I think we've been working. Perlow Productions has been doing camp videos for I don't know, about 9 or 10 years now. But certainly when we got into it and kind of heard about video and camps and all that, it was something camps have been using for a long time in different ways. But I think one thing that's clear is, as the camping industry has grown and become more competitive, and there's more camps out there to go after the potential campers. I think camps are trying to find new and different ways to market themselves, to sell themselves to families. The big thing we always talk with camps about and clients in general about is your video has to be more than just look and sound great. It really has to do the job of not selling people on, and this is a problem I found with a lot of camp videos and videos in general, is a lot of camp videos sell you on how amazing and awesome summer camp is. They don't tell you why you should send your child, or if you're a kid, why you should go to that particular camp. Or as I often say to camps, your video should either tell somebody why they should come here or why they shouldn't. And either way, it succeeded, because you want to have the right kinds of kids at your camp, and you don't want to attract kids that just would be a good fit, because that's not a good scenario for either side, right? So we really work beyond producing videos that look and sound great and are really dynamic to make sure that the message, the vibe of each camp comes through. So, while most camps have, the lakes, the pools, the rope climbing, soccer, basketball, tennis, all that, every camp, no matter what their activities are, has a certain special something. And so trying to uncover that and convey it within the video. Ask any business owner, not just a camp, why your camp, why your product, why your place. It's not an easy question to answer. And so I think that if there's one thing I would say to people, especially camps, about their video strategy, find somebody that can make great videos, hopefully us, but either way, make sure they're also somebody that knows how to help you answer that question within your videos. Because if they don't, I don't care what you spend, I don't care how amazing they look, if they don't answer that question, it was a wasted investment. So I would say from a overall strategy point of view, that's the biggest, most important piece of advice I give to our camps all the time, including camps that we work with on a regular basis, because even the answer sometimes is changing, right? Sometimes camps evolve and change. And so making sure that the video we made 5 years ago speaks to the same reasons as it does today. So, just an important question. And again, not an easy one to answer for camp owners and directors. The other advice I give them often is call your families. Don't email them, call them and say, hey, it's Tom from Camp AXZ. I would like to give you a little honest feedback. When you first were looking at camps, why, what made you choose our camp? Where else did you look? And what was it that made our camp the right fit? Was it, your son or daughter had friends here? Was it the cost? Was it the location? Was it because we have horseback riding? What was it? And you'll also get some pretty interesting answers, because I think usually if you can get people to be truly honest, you're going to hear things you never knew before. And those should go in your video, either very directly or sometimes just subtly.
Right. Yeah. And obviously camps usually go down the route of producing a promo video, and that's the usual one. It's stuck on the homepage of the website. But video can be used in lots of other ways as well. What sort of other videos should camps be producing? What other videos do you produce for camps at the moment?
Sure. So I would say the biggest areas we've seen growth in are staff recruiting, again, telling potential hires why they should come and work at your camp. Usually a lot of these people are already interested in working at a summer camp, but why they should come and work at your camp versus other places. And creating, again, recruiting videos. We've done some that are just generally, come work at our camp, here's why you should come work at our camp. And then videos that are more honed into, here's why you should be a group leader or a bunk counselor, whatever their different positions and position names are. So creating videos that they can use, that the camps can use when they're going and hiring staff, and whether it's year-round staff or staff for the summer. That again speaks to what's great about the camp, but what's great about it from an employee's perspective, because it's a very different perspective than as a camper or a camper family. So that's one, the recruiting videos for staff recruiting. I'm very big on aerial video, and I don't mean eye in the sky where we put our drone 3,000 feet in the air and you see all the ants, otherwise known as people, at camp. We shoot most of our camp videos when we're shooting with our drone from anywhere from 15 feet to, I don't know, a couple hundred feet in the air. I'm a big believer in using a drone as a creative tool, not just a big cool view. That's great too. And so one of the things we started doing a few years ago with our aerial video is shooting aerial tours. So it kind of came from, a lot of camps had the interactive tours where you could mouse through different parts of camp, but I always found them very herky-jerky to maneuver through, and I don't think there's much that's engaging about moving around a still image of camp, a place that is everything but still. So to me, like, you're looking at camp, you want to see activity. You want to see the life of the camp. So with our aerial videos, we make a laundry list of every key area of camp, including buildings. And we get shots from up high and then shots from lower down. We make sure we're shooting them when there's activity going on in each specific area. And then we edit into this really cool aerial tour. We have our animator create animated bullet points and pieces of information that tell about each area that we're flying over. So as you're seeing it, you're also reading information, but it's presented in a cool, animated, dynamic way that makes it fun and almost feels like an interactive video. It's selling people on your camp without selling them. It's like watching just a really cool aerial video, but at the same time, you're like, wow, so camp has this and they have this, and oh, so that's right near that. And I will tell you that the aerial tours we've done so far for camps, they have told us are among their most useful videos of all the things we've done for them. One of the reasons being that, first of all, obviously they can, even though it has music, they can play it at a camp fair where it's noisy and people can't hear anything being said, but people can watch it and read the text on the screen. It's also something that's just different, right? I mean, we haven't done it for that many camps yet. A lot have shown interest, but because it's new and different, when people see it, they're like, wow, that's so cool. So it makes your camp stand out in that way. The augmented reality, that's kind of a whole nother subject. So I don't know if you want me to touch on that later or now, but
yeah, maybe we'll get into that later, because it's,
okay.
I know it's quite a big thing.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think what else. I think just finding different ways to tell stories about camp without making it completely scripted, right? Mm-hmm. So I've seen some really cool camp videos out there that are, here's the story of the kid being picked up from home and going to camp, and it's all very scripted and sometimes using actors and maybe not, but I don't find that scripted content in general sells families on camp. It's cool, it's entertaining. I've seen some amazingly well done scripted content, but I think when you're watching it as a parent or watching it as a kid, no matter how entertaining you may find it, it feels kind of contrived, even if it's really well done. And so to me, I want to show as much of camp in the real light. Like when we even shoot our regular promo videos, I'd say we stage less than 10% of what we shoot, because we really want to get real moments. I mean, does it mean we've never asked a kid to kick the soccer ball a second time? No, of course we have. But we are generally, I would say that some of the best moments we have in any of our videos have just been real moments. I would say probably the best one ever is actually the staff recruiting video we did for Camp Echo Lake a few years ago. And we had interviewed a counselor. I think she was a soccer counselor. She was running soccer. And we'd interviewed her. So we had a microphone on her, wireless microphone. And we said, okay, we're done with the interview. Just go out and talk to the kids, and we'll get some sound of you talking to the kids. So she was wearing the microphone through the rest of the period. And thankfully, our videographer kept rolling on her, recording her. And she walked off the field talking to a camper who asked her, what did they ask you about? And what did you say? And we recorded the whole thing. And she basically says, they asked me why I love Camp Echo Lake so much, and it's because of people like you and getting to be with people like you. And it was the most real thing I think we've ever had in a video. It was shot from behind because she was walking away from us. But I'll never forget the first time I showed it to the camp, and I was like, this is kind of weird, but it's kind of amazing at the same time, and they loved it, and it's the last thing in that video. So, just going around camp and capturing real moments is, to me, some of the most powerful content you can get to put in a camp video, because it shows camp as it really is, not as, as it could be posed.
Yeah, sure. No, I can understand that. We filmed. We had a couple of days of filming, and we got all the kids to do a nice testimonial of what they thought about camp, and everyone was scripted, and it was just it doesn't even sound like it's been written by them. So the effect that has on people looking at it, it's just yeah, right, whatever. You can tell kids to say anything, but if it's not real, then it doesn't work. So I think those real moments are essential.
Yeah, it's funny. I happened to speak a week or so ago with one of our camp owners, and we were talking about the first time we worked together, because we've worked for several summers now. And he said to me, he's like, Mike, I remember when you first came to camp, and I said to you, so where's the script? And I said, well, there's no script. We don't script things like that. And he was used to all the videos he'd ever done. Everything was very scripted. His answers were scripted. And we do quite the opposite. Even with our interviews, we come with some talking points, but we really, kind of like you and I are talking here. I want people to talk to me. Talk to me about camp. Talk to me about whatever the subject is, and just be real. And you don't have to say the camp name in every answer or repeat my question in every answer. Those are all techniques that have been created over the years by people that think it's an effective technique, and in my mind, it just makes everything that's said sound very staged and very rehearsed.
Yeah, sure.
We don't answer people's questions by repeating their questions. We answer people's questions with an answer. And if you know how to interview people and ask the right kinds of questions, and you know how to edit and weave those answers together, they should be able to essentially stand on their own without you needing to restate the question. And so that's one of the things we strive to do when it comes to the interview part of camp videos, which are critical, because they help really tell the story.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then once camp's got its videos in place, we've got the videos in place. What are the places they can get more views of the video? Obviously, it's about getting eyes on the video, and they can do that on their landing page. But there's lots of other ways of getting eyes on the video. So can you do you help camps with that, or have you seen any good examples of how camps are sort of leveraging those videos to get more views?
Yeah, I always offer to help with that process. Some clients are more interested in the help than others. Some kind of have their system and they just like to do it their way, which is fine. Although I am the kind of person that if I notice there's a problem with their video on their website or something else, or if YouTube has taken it in some weird way, I'll call or email or text them and say, hey, Lucy, I just saw your video and here's what's wrong. Actually, just happened with me today for somebody we did a video for, where they had embedded it on their website and the YouTube dimensions were all off, and it was like a long, narrow rectangle, the video player was. So when I notice things like that, I take great pride in the work we do, and I want it to look great for our camp. So if I see a mistake, if I notice a social media icon on your website and I click on it and it takes me to Wix, I'm going to call you and say, hey, your social media, your Facebook icon isn't taking us to your camp Facebook page. Mm-hmm. But in terms of using your video, so I'm a big believer in sharing it as many places as you can. Obviously on your website, one thing I would say is make it easy for people to find your camp video. As a video guy, I always want it on the homepage, but I understand why some people aren't totally in favor of that idea. So if you're not going to have the video on your homepage or a teaser on your homepage, have a big button that says watch our camp video. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many camp websites I go to, and I, as one who goes there looking for nothing but the video, spend 5, 10, 15 minutes trying to find their video because it's hidden on some random page that may have made sense to them, but is not intuitive to the average person. Mm-hmm. So, putting it on a page that, honestly, put a button on the homepage that says watch our video. It doesn't get much simpler than that.
Sure.
And then obviously posting it on social media is great. People that don't know this when it comes to social media, instead of posting the link, doing a native upload of the video, which means you literally upload the video file to social media, particularly I know with Facebook, the data shows that you'll get more viewers if it's natively uploaded rather than posting the link. A lot of people don't know that. So another thing to keep in mind is upload the video directly to your social media platform. And the other thing I mentioned whenever I speak in seminars, and people always find this so mind-blowing, it's so simple. Put a link to your video in your email signature. So every time you email somebody or reply to somebody's email, it says, great talking to you, Mike Perlow. And then right underneath it is a link, watch our camp video.
Yeah.
So every single person you ever email gets countless opportunities to click there and watch your video.
Yeah, it's really subtle. We found that a really nice way of doing it with video and our referral program as well, that each email that goes out, it's just, it's a subtle reminder that they can bring friends, they can receive rewards. And it's, it's a really nice way of doing it.
And I will share one other quick thought I want to share with you just about videos in general, and I think is a lost approach for camps, is, camps make new videos and they blast them everywhere and share them everywhere. They put them on their website and all of that. And then weeks or months go by, or sometimes even years go by, and the video just sits there. And I have told many camps, you need to share it more, show it more, post it more. Like, always be celebrating what you're about. So it doesn't mean you need to do it every week, but don't let 4 months go by in the off season. I mean, you have all that time from September till June where you could be promoting camp by showing your videos, by posting them, by sharing them. There's so many different ways. Don't just wait for everybody to come to your website and find it, or even come to your social media page and find where you've uploaded it. Like, post it, celebrate something about camp, and just using that video again. It's great content, and the more times you get it in front of people, the more likely, more new people are to see it. Yeah.
No, that's good advice. And one thing I'll add to that is about using links to like YouTube or to Vimeo, or, one of the players like that. If you're linking or using that on your homepage, people are seeing the video, then after the video, it will come up with links which are not necessarily related to your camp. So then sometimes you can lose the interest from the families that get sidetracked onto something else. So a really good tip for that is to use a different player. Like Wisty is very good, Swarmify, there's lots of other players there which don't link out to other people after the video is finished. And once families arrive at your site, you've got them there, you want to keep them there, they watch your video, they're interested in your camp, you don't want them to then get sidetracked and interested in something else. So just using the right player on your videos as well, I think is pretty important sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, something we started doing more recently with YouTube, is you can set buttons towards the end of it that can encourage people to subscribe to your channel, but also to suggest they watch another video or related video. So you can actually select the next video that they would watch if they click that tab. So if you have multiple videos on your YouTube channel, select that other one and keep that going. Sure. But you're right, still, it doesn't force people to do that, because they can still go to that other suggested videos, and it really is dependent on what their viewing habits are. Yeah. I know mine always comes up with every Marvel and Star Wars movie there is out there.
Okay, one of them.
Really the geek in me.
Good stuff. Cool. So augmented reality. Let's get into that. I'm really interested by it, and it's something really new. I think that people are starting to use more and more. And the example you showed me was really, really interesting. So yeah, tell us more about that, Mike.
Sure. It's I'll be honest, it's hard to explain in words. It's always best understood by people experiencing. So I'll explain a little bit how people can do that as well, which is simply to go on your mobile device, any mobile device, and go to the app or the Google Play Store, search for the Perlow AR app, Perlow AR app. It's a free download. And once you download it to your device, if you go on our website and go to the augmented reality page, there are two different what are called AR targets. You can literally print them out. You don't have to, even though ideally it's printed on something nicer, you can, and I actually have something I can show you, you can print it on a piece of paper and use it that way. And you basically open up the app on your device, aim it at this target image, and then the experience happens. I'll just show you. So this is actually something we did. This target here is one of our two AR targets, and I'll try to hold it close. And we actually put it, so the cool part is once you design the target, so this black image here is what launches the AR experience. But once we've designed that AR image, you can print it on anything. So we literally put it on a notepad. So we give these to people as like a little giveaway. We gave them away at Tri-State, and you take one page off and you got another one. I don't know if I have them handy here, but we also have done Unfortunately, I don't have one right in front of me, but we've done AR postcards, which is a great way, and it's actually a great idea for camps, where we can literally take that same target, put it on one side of the postcard, on the other side, you can write a note. Dear Tom, I hear you've been interested in our camp. Download our AR app and aim it at the other side of this card and learn all about our camp. So I kind of did the end part first. Here's how it works. So basically, we develop with our app development partners an augmented reality app for your camp. So it's the it's the Camp Robinson AR app. You would go download it the same way, and then we design it's essentially a graphically designed image that is the target image that. And don't ask me to explain how this works technically, because I can't. There are people much smarter than me that understand all the behind the scenes technology. But essentially, when you open the AR app on your device and aim it at that target image, that image activates the augmented reality experience. So it's playing a video, can play a hologram, animation, all kinds of other, I mean, there's a lot of other places we can go with it. But each image activates a different AR experience. So we have that one I showed you that plays one of our camp videos. We have another one that plays the Perlow Productions promo video. But for a camp, I mean, you could literally send that to a family and they would look at it and they'd watch your main promo video. Or you could send them, so it can be used for recruiting, but it can also be used for existing families. So at the end of the summer, if you put together some kind of summer recap video, you create a new target, you mail everybody a postcard, hey, download our AR app, aim it at our target, and watch our summer 2023 recap video. You could use it for sending a holiday card, same thing. Camp could record a little holiday greeting, mail out AR postcards, and the same experience. If all your families already have the AR app downloaded on their devices, all they need to do at that point is just aim it at the new target. And actually, people always ask, well, can we replace the videos? So as I said, like this one right now launches a certain camp video. It used to launch a different camp video. We swapped it out a few months ago just because we wanted it to create something different, to show something different. And really, the best way I can explain it is it's a dynamic new way to use technology and get people in front of your content. The other part that I can't show here is that when you open the app and you look at it, there are three main buttons on the bottom, which is like a pause play button, a restart button, and a hamburger button, which essentially opens up drop downs on both sides of the screen that can then have icons to your social media pages, to pages on your website. It can be a register now, it could be learn more, see more of our videos, anything you want. Those buttons can be customized to take you anywhere on the internet. The other cool part about it is outside of that last piece, the buttons that are connected to the web, the AR part of it, once you've downloaded the app on your device, needs no internet signal. You can put your device on airplane mode, open up the app, aim it at the target, and the whole thing works, which is incredible. So the good thing is, if you're using it at a conference, a trade show, anywhere where the signal is not great, as long as people have already downloaded your app, you're golden. Because it has other than the buttons, which those won't work without the internet. But the key part of it, which is the AR experience, happens with zero internet signal. So It's pretty cool.
Nice.
But I would encourage people to download our Perlow AR app, print out one of the target or both the target images from our website, and experience it themselves, because you just can't do it justice without trying it yourself. And then everybody's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. How do we do this? I hope that made sense. You have a good sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And are many camps using this at the moment, or is this very new to catch on?
So here's what I'm finding. New technology is both exciting and terrifying for people. And I think that the early adopters are few and far between. We started working in augmented reality in the fall of 2019, and we were very ahead of the curve. I was through a project we did with our AR partner for Dell Technologies, and we did the animation part of it, and our partner did the AR part of it. But that was our first experience with AR, and we were just so blown away with it that we created our own AR app. So we have talked to a lot of camps. I would say that heading into summer 2020, there were a number of camps who were very interested in different levels. And I have no doubt that, a few years from now, having AR will be like having a website. And what I joke with camps and businesses in general is, a few of you are going to be the first, going to be the pioneers like we are with it. And then everybody else is going to say, oh, why did we let them beat us to the chase? because it is, I mean, and especially for the audience you're going after, right? You're going after kids or their parents, the parents who are usually skew on the younger end of things. So all of whom are technology savvy. And and the other part is, like, in terms of technical issues, at this point, we've probably had thousands of people that have downloaded and tried this out using the Perlow AR app. I would say less than 10 people have called or texted me and said, hey, Mike, I can't hear anything, or it's not working, or I can't find your app. I mean, the success rate on this is incredible in terms of just the general experience for the viewer, which, of course, when you're using technology, new technology, if it's not, you'll quickly lose somebody. So that's an important part of what we set up. We use an AR platform that's like considered the best in the industry. So it's cross-platform for, Apple devices and Samsung devices and any other mobile devices. So it really works. My younger son until recently had an iPhone 6, and it worked fine on his. So, and that's a few generations ago already in terms of phones. So
yeah. Cool. No, it's definitely something to have a look at and experience what it's all about. And I suppose it boils down to costs, I suppose, for a lot of camps, and what the return on investment of doing something like that would be. So,
definitely.
Have you had many examples so far of it, or is it just too early to tell that the sort of returns camps that would get from a system like that?
In terms of ROI, I mean, I'd say it's similar to doing videos, right? I think it's as much about the buzz it builds for your camp as anything. I don't mean it doesn't return on investment, but I mean in terms of gauging it. Now, yes, are there ways we could set it up? You could literally know people that are contacting you off of something they do or experience in the AR app? Yes, but I think more than anything, it helps. First of all, it tells everybody that you are a forward-thinking camp, that you invest in things around camp. I don't think it sends a bad message about you want to create this technology-driven camp, because I don't think using great new technology to market and recruit for camp says you are a tech-crazy camp. It just says you are a forward-thinking camp. And I think that, again, it's finding new and better ways to get your camp, your videos in front of people. If you email them something, the likelihood of somebody clicking, despite what I said earlier, if you email a link to your camp video to 100 families, I don't know what the percentages are of families that are going to click on that link and watch it. But I would bet you that if you mailed 100 postcards, AR postcards to families, the numbers would be higher. And the one thing I can tell you definitively is the amount of time people watch content when watching it through augmented reality is hands down longer than just watching it online or clicking a link on your phone and just watching the video through a website or a third-party player. So the sad reality is everybody walks around like this, right? So if I can say, hey, here's a card, watch our video, I mean, what do people do more than hold their phone and look at things? So it's, like I said, I think once a couple camps try this out, we will have an explosion of camps that want to use AR. And we can do much more than that. Like, this is what we call content-driven AR, but we can even do interactive maps and holograms of the whole camp layout. We could do things with animated characters. There's a whole lot of, we've talked to a couple camps that have a camp mascot. We could literally have the AR experience begin with an animated version of that mascot talking to you and look like he's standing right in front of you. Okay. So there's a lot of higher level things that can be done with AR. We try to start simple and go from there, because we find if we overwhelm people with too much technology information, they can't make hay of it. So we really encourage people to use it at this basic level, see that they love it, see that their families love it, and then explore other ways to put augmented reality into effect. But I mean, listen, Google augmented reality and the future of AR with marketing. There are so many articles just saying that it is the next big frontier, and that the amount of investment dollars going into it across industries is just insane. So I read just the other day an article about somebody who had designed an AR contact lens, which I don't think it's really ready for market, but there's no doubt that's where all of this is headed, wearable tech.
Wow.
You'll, instead of using your phone, you'll use glass. You'll put on a pair of AR glasses. And so, I mean, that's where we'll be, I don't know, 5 years from now, I'm not sure. But
Right.
that's where all this is headed. You know, the Apple Watch is nothing compared to where we'll be with wearable tech and AR down the road. So it's exciting. I mean, I think it's very exciting.
Yeah,
And again,
sure.
I don't think camps should feel like it makes them present themselves as like some camp that's all about technology. It's just a really cool marketing and recruiting tool. So
yeah,
that's my 2 cents. And obviously we would not, I mean, we literally as a company invested time and resources and money into getting our augmented reality offering up because I believe so much in it as a sales marketing tool for us and for people we're creating videos for.
Cool. Awesome. No, yeah, definitely worth checking out. So that's kind of looking to the future of camp marketing, but obviously there's lots of the basics which camps aren't necessarily getting right at the moment. Working with camps, what have you come across? What are the main mistakes? What are the main issues? What are the main problems camps are having with their video content, video marketing? Would you say?
I think it goes back to showing just the fun of camp and selling people on how great camp is instead of your camp. I think that is the number one mistake that camps and businesses in general make when they make videos. I think many camps, when they list, like if I ask them what makes your camp unique, they often list things that really don't make them unique. So, you know, I've had several camps say, well, we're very anti-technology, so kids have no devices during the summer. Well, yeah, you and, you know, thousands of other camps, or we're very big on this. So I think, you know, being able to step back and say, well, maybe we're not as different as we think in these areas, but let's identify where we are. So I think, you know, being honest about who you are, and it's funny. So on the other end of that, I've had this conversation in particular with faith-based camps, but I would say this goes for camps in general. Don't be afraid to be who you are and shout it from the rooftops. I think a lot of times when camps have a certain focus, whether again it's, you know, faith or activity or whatever, they don't want to scare away people by saying they're too much of this. And in my opinion, you should never be scared of that because that's what you are, and you want people to come to your camp who want that, right? So while, you know, if it's a faith-based camp, for example, there may be families that want a little bit more, a little less of that religion, but they're all coming for that. No different than if you're going to a baseball camp. For a baseball camp to say, oh, we don't want to tell people that their kids are going to throw, you know, are going to play 27 innings every day. Well, that's what you do. And if somebody doesn't want to send their kid to a baseball camp where they play 27 innings a day, then they should know that. You know, don't make them feel like you're just going to play toss and hit a few balls during the day. So I think, you know, being honest about who you are as a camp and being proud of it and showing it off and really making it very clear is important because, again, it's going to attract more of the kinds of people that are a good fit for your camp. And is going to, again, distinguish you because any of those things make you stand out among the crowd of whether it's camps that are offering the same kind of specialties or camps in the same region. Other mistakes with videos, again, going back to the, you know, don't script your answers. We get this a lot with people in general that we interview. Can you give me your list of questions? And I say, well, if you can dig them out of my head, because that's where they sit. I mean, I come in with a list of talking points, but really, I tell people, don't prepare your answers. We're talking about your camp. What can you speak about more easily than your camp? Like probably the biggest passion of your life. So just like, you know, like you're asking me about my business, right? Like, did I need to prepare answers to talk about my business? Do you, Duncan, need to do that for yours? No, because if it's something you're passionate about, just talk about it and be honest about it. And the best answers will come out that way. So I think, you know, realizing that, you know, and honestly, I always say to people, if we ask you a question you really struggle to answer, just tell me and we'll take a little time and think about it. But 90% of the questions we're asking in camp interviews are very easily answered questions. And I think the best answers are the ones that are natural. Let me think what else. I think the other part that I try to convey to camps in general is don't dread the idea of shooting new camp videos that coming summer. If you work with the right company, the right team, it should not be a burden on you. Does it take some of your time when we're at camp? Sure. Does it ruin your day? Does it take you away from all your day-to-day? It shouldn't. It doesn't when we're at camps. And, you know, sometimes the first time we're working at camp, the first day we're there may be a little bit more taxing because we're trying to get our bearings as well. but usually we ask the camp to give us somebody that knows camp well and kind of take us around and give us a lay of the land. But once we know where we need to go and what we're doing, we're pretty, self-sufficient, and we really try to avoid getting the camp to reschedule things or set up things at a certain time. We really want to capture them when they're happening. There are times when there's, say, like a certain activity that just doesn't happen to be going on when we're there. And so sometimes they may put together a small golf activity or whatever it is. Sometimes the big theater performance isn't happening for 4 weeks, so they do a little mock performance for us, things like that. But in general, I think, we want you to be excited about having us there when we're shooting your videos. The staff and the campers usually love it. We're very respectful. My team they're all great around the kids with the staff. We've never once had any issues whatsoever. Usually the biggest issue is everybody wants to be interviewed. When can you interview me? Can you interview me? Can you interview me? No, I always defer it to the camp director or the camp owner. Speak to so-and-so. He or she is the one that's deciding that. If they say yes, happy to interview you. And speaking of which, don't try to interview 100 people, because if you're doing a 3-minute video, or even if you're doing a 10-minute video, you can only include so many people's sound bites in one video. So pick different people that represent, different areas around camp. I always say, make sure each person you're interviewing has a purpose. Why are we speaking to that person? If I'm interviewing 2 people that are going to tell me the same exact thing, we only need one of them. So really make sure there's a reason that each person is speaking or being interviewed, and focus on what you want them to talk about. So I think, not following some of those rules or some of the mistakes camps make, and honestly, just sticking with their videos for way too long. And I know I have my own agenda for people doing new videos, but honestly, I see some camps that have had videos, since I was at camp. And that was more than a few years ago now. So I think, listen, it's an investment and it's time and effort, but you need to be updating your videos. You can't have kids that are married that were 12 when they were at your camp, or even in college at your camp. And you need
No way. No, that's interesting. Yeah, we aim to do pretty much one a year, and occasionally we'd give it a rest for a year and do something else. But yeah, it's got to be fresh. The family's coming back, seeing that, it's just, it looks amateur. So yeah, it's got to be fresh. Definitely.
Yeah. And I think sometimes camps fall so in love with the video they've had for so many years that they're scared. I've heard this from a few camps over the years. They're scared if they can make something as good this time around.
Yeah, right.
And so they just stay with what they have because they know they love it.
Yeah.
But I always say, like, if people watch your video and it's obvious that it's dated, that's not doesn't speak well of your camp. No different than if people show up at your camp and the equipment is dated, right? If things are dated, if you have payphones all around camp, well, you wouldn't have camp, but you get my point, right? If you have payphones all over someplace, kind of dated. So, I think it's no different than sports equipment or anything else you would have at camp. Camps spend lots of money to keep their facilities updated, their equipment updated. Same thing has to go with your marketing tools.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Mike, is there anything that I haven't asked you which you'd like me to ask?
Trying to think what else we have touched on. I think just real. So yeah, this is one other thing I would just mention about is, so many camps we work with have, summertime staff that shoots videos. And many times we hear from camps, well, we have a staff and they do our summertime videos and our recruiting videos. I would respectfully say that having that staff is awesome, and they're the perfect people to do your videos that you send to as a camp parent. They're the perfect videos to send home to parents, to send to the campers at the end of the summer. But there's a big difference between that and creating a well-strategized recruiting video. And so realizing that it's not just because you have a guy or girl who's in college and knows how to shoot and has a GoPro and can put a drone in the air, that does not make an effective recruiting video. So realizing that, don't get me wrong, there's a few camps I've seen over the years that have just found that amazing diamond in the rough that just rocks it, but those are few and far between. Knowing that you have that summertime staff that can make lots of great content for you ongoing during the summer, but committing to, as I like to say, creating a marketing video that's as great as your camp. And if your videos aren't as great as you, there's that disconnect there. So realize that my point is there's a place for both. And that goes for your marketing in general. There's nothing wrong. We shoot, when we're on productions, we shoot behind the scenes videos with our iPhones. Right? I do it all the time because it's great. We get pictures, we get little video clips. I post them on social media. It's fun. It's real. We don't use that kind of footage typically for our client productions other than in a unique circumstance. So realizing that there is a place for both consumer kind of video and professionally structured and created videos, and you really want to have both.
Yeah.
So not one, not the other. I don't tell people stop using those kids during the summertime. I say that's great, that's fantastic, that's an important part, but you really need to have some of both.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I like to see is when you've had I suppose a series of promo videos done over the years. I think if you can show that on your website as a camp, I think that shows really good consistency, that it's not just good one year and you've captured that and you keep that for a long time. It's good every year, you're consistent, and they could expect that to be the same the following year. And I think that's a nice way of showing it. So yeah, definitely recommend getting promo videos done. I'd try and aim for every year, but if budget's an issue, then sure, every 2 years I think is a maximum.
I think even it doesn't have to be that you do a new promo video every couple of years, but just constantly adding new content, right?
Yeah,
so that's what I'd say our best camps do. We might do the promo video one year, and the next year we might do some recruiting videos for staff, and next year we might do an aerial tour, but we might also update the original video with some new footage we've gotten. So constantly updating your videos and creating new content. And then at a certain point, being able to step back and say, you know what, it was 4, 5, 6 years ago when we did our main promo video. It's time to do something new and fresh and different. And not being afraid of how are we going to top the last one, because just making something new and different will get it in front of new people. So that's as important as anything else. Yeah.
And I was reading some interesting research about how long your business needs to be in the mind of someone else. And as a camp, the families need to have been thinking about you for 7 hours before they make a decision about whether they're going to enroll in that camp, unless they've been referred by someone. But if they arrive on your website, they see your video, you need more than just one video to capture their attention. You need more than that just to get them to enroll that year. You need video from previous years. You need other blog content on there. You need lots of other content to nurture them down that funnel. And video is a great way of sort of speeding that process up, and really lodging that image of what camp is in their mind, so they're thinking about it more often, and then they're more likely to make that buying decision at the end of it. So
7-hour videos is the new trend then.
7-hour video. Oh, can you imagine?
Holy cow!
we shot for 2 days to get a 3.5-minute video. So a 7-hour video, blimey, there needs to be.
We finally make use of everything we shoot at camp. That's good to know. I've never heard that number. That's interesting.
Yeah.
7 hours.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Good to know.
Cool. Well, no, it's been really good to chat to you, Mike, and get all your experience and knowledge about shooting videos and augmented reality. I'm really interested to try it and see what that's all about. So yeah, thanks very much for coming on and sharing all that with us, Mike.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Well, I'll put in the show notes where people can find out about you. But it's Perlow Productions. Very nicely spoken as well.